switching away from movies, going into the Netflix show. What we want to talk about? Daredevil. I know you've watched Hunter. I know Joe, you've watched the Ben Affleck movie.
Yes.
Got really excited for your contribution.
For those of you who don't know, I can't wait for Joe to tell us what he thinks happened to Daredevil. We can kind of tell him. For those of you who don't know, Netflix has released a Daredevil television show. And it's 13 episodes, I believe. 13 episodes. It's all on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, we're good. Like, if you don't have Netflix, you're going to want to really get on that. It's really awesome. It's got a bunch of new faces that you haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. I loved it. I loved it. Really I thought it was fantastic.
It reminded me of Breaking Bad in the even the small characters were very well portrayed. And no one was a stereotype. No one was a flat. No character came across to me as flat. The only moment in which I was taken out of the narrative because of something like that was that the Russians had the most stereotypical names.
Yeah, Vladimir and Sauerkraut, I think the other guy's name was.
Sauerkraut. You guys have done so well everywhere else.
Sauerkraut's German.
Can't you find some other...
Yeah, I believe
I'm sorry. I'm kind of racist, I guess. Continue.
Well, I mean, that was pretty much the end of it.
Yeah.
It's just... But I loved... So Vincent D'Onofrio, or Vince Vaughn, as I like to call him, he was so human, which...
He's gonna be so mad when he hears this.
Oh yeah, sorry Vince Vaughn.
Both Vince Vaughn and Vincent D'Onofrio.
No, they're buds, or they're the same person playing two different roles.
Yeah.
Yes,
or they're two children in trench coat.
He wants to do criminal intent and do like really intense stuff like this in Daredevil, but Vince Vaughn just wants to like have fun, make the internship. All that kind of stuff.
He's not. Oh yeah.
He's totally in the internship. Yeah.
I'm thinking of the enemy. No. Yeah, we'll continue.
I just the fact that they open his character in such a human moment where he's trying to get with this lady who
super nervous about it,
so scary. I'm more frightened of her than I am of him because she hasn't done anything yet. Yeah. But I know when push comes to shove, she's gonna shiv someone with an earring.
Yeah. So okay. So if you guys, just let you know, there probably are spoilers. We're just gonna throw. I'm gonna put a spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Right now, at this point, come back after the spoilers are done. We'll let you know when they're done.
There's zero hope for me.
There's zero. Joe's gonna get ruined.
He earned it.
So this is what happens to you when you don't watch stuff and it's time for podcast time. But anyway, so that's what I just wanted to give you a warning. So, Kingpin, which they never actually call him that.
They haven't called him that.
They haven't called him that. Not at least.
Closest thing was King of Diamonds on a setup thing, but that was.
And I really think
just kind of seems to be like a new thing in superhero
which I
film
hate.
now.
Which I hate.
Let's wait until the end of the first.
Outside of the Flash, everyone's been like, "Oh, look at Smallville. It was the Blur." And so he was the Blur.
The Blur.
He was the red and blue Blur, and then he was just the Blur, and we didn't know who the Blur was. Then in Arrow, it's like the Hood, which pissed me off. You have a guy running around your city, right? Shooting people with bows and arrows.
And
there's arrows, and the thing you focus on is the hood? Like, the arrow is so weird. And they're always green. And you're like sitting there going,
yeah,
that hood. Because now every kid in a hoodie, and when I say every kid in a hoodie, I mean most of the black kids in Starling City with hoodies are going to get beaten down by cops looking for the hood. Or the rich, angsty ones. And that's what happens
in the... sister wears a hood a lot.
A lot. They're just going to get beat down by cops looking for the hood when they really should be looking for a guy with bows and arrows.
Excuse me, 14-year-old little boy. I'm sorry. The hood is the only call card I have.
Yeah. So then now they're just calling him Arrow, as opposed to the Arrow. And I just want to be like, ugh. Yeah, and then the Flash, the first the Flash was like the Streak. They were calling him the Streak, and then like after 4 episodes, they're like, nah, the Flash. It's dumb for us to say anything else.
I just want him to run really fast.
So that makes me happy. But in this one, they don't call him the Kingpin. They just kind of just call him by his name, Wilson Fisk. Like his code name is his actual name. Yeah. And then they don't call Daredevil until the very, very last episode. Yeah. For the most of the show, they refer to him as the Man in Black, which I think is okay. It's very.
I thought that development I think was meaningful, and the devil imagery was built up. rather than him just being the Daredevil something. I think that kind of requires...
In the comics, they made fun of him for being that way.
Whereas with Green Arrow, it's literally like he has a green arrow, that's why we call him that. Like, that makes sense. The Daredevil thing, I think, to be legitimized, had to develop, and I think that was really smart.
In the comics, they just called him Daredevil because he was so not Daredevilish. He was so bookish. And then he used it as like a mocking thing to the kids who bullied him as a child. It's like, oh, well, now I am the Daredevil. Like, look at me being Daredevil fighting crime. But this way we didn't really get that. Because that sounds dumb because none of those kids are around.
Yeah.
So that would just be weird. And then they would be like, hey, we used to call this kid Daredevil. It's probably him. But he's blind, so probably not.
Yeah.
Which,
Do they ever... does he ever progress into the red suit?
Yep.
Yeah, that's at the very end.
Season finale.
Season finale, he wears the suit. And it's not spandex, it's body armor. They established that there's a guy who, when you look at the guy's shop, which I was super excited about, you see Stiltman's stilts in the background. And my favorite villain of Daredevil's, and anyone's really, is Stiltman.
What's more frightening?
Because the
Joker wishes
he has stilts, and he's the best stilts. I memorized this. He said, and this is a quote from Stiltman, "As long as I'm the master of stilts, no one can stand in my way."
Because he's so
tall. But like the fact that he says,
"Step over them."
Yeah, as long as they
don't grab my stilts.
Like other people are trying to like be really good at stilts, and he mastered it.
He just breaks their stilts.
Yeah.
Don't even bother.
Don't bother.
I'm Stilt Man.
I'm the best Stilt Man ever. They'd probably just call him the legs.
Right? Yeah. Why would
they?
Can you imagine? I want Stilt Man to be a thing, just so Foggy can make jokes about it.
Or they just watch they make him like super dark. And that's what I think would be really funny.
How do you make Stiltman dark?
You give him like, you're in Mortal Kombat, right? You play Mortal Kombat. You know Jax with his robot arms. Give him like robot legs that look like normal legs, right?
Yeah.
And then like he'll just be sitting in like a little swivel chair, and someone comes in and it's like, "Hey, buddy, what the heck are you doing in my chair?" And he just like puts his feet up and then just extends his foot through the guy's chest. And he's just like, he becomes a crime boss, and he never actually uses his stilts to stilt.
He just sits down and then kills people.
Or kicks him. Or like in a fight scene, he's like fighting like him, and he whips a kick at him, and it flings out, and then kicks him like from like 50 feet out, and then comes back, and then just like, because like, I guess Daredevil could dodge it. Because he does everything. Yeah,
no. Know that the dude doesn't.
Still like, yeah, no. I take everything I just said back.
Man, it's good.
Still, man, is horrible.
But
the body armor is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It looks functional and realistic in the same world, because this whole show takes place in New York after the events of the Avengers, and they talk about the rebuilding process after the thing. You see that one of the characters reported on the fight again in the Battle of New York.
Really?
Which I thought was really great.
I like
the
that.
specific,
That's cool.
The still from the movie is used. It's like this guy that framed a picture.
Took a picture of it,
which is really really great.
I was under the assumption it would just be in like just such a completely different time period, where they would just avoid it.
It's right after. I think it maybe like a couple months.
It's actually what's really fascinating to me about it is the wreckage of that battle sets up the conflict of people trying to rebuild Hell's Kitchen or whatever they want.
Because you have the criminal element trying to rebuild Hell's Kitchen for their own benefit, which gives it a moral gray area. Because like if no one's gonna fix it and these people are gonna fix it, then why should you stop them? But then they're doing all the shady stuff, and it's really great. They set up Iron Fist really well, and even though I said there was gonna be spoilers, I don't want to tell you how they're gonna set up Iron Fist, because I know there's a lot of Iron Fist fans out there. All 7 of you, I know who you are, and so they set that up really well with some of Iron Fist villains, like insignias are all over the place, and I think that's really crazy. And they set up Luke Cage, not so much Jessica Jones. You don't see that set up. Those are the other movies coming, or other shows coming to Netflix. But in the Daredevil, what did you think of the guy playing Daredevil? I forget the actor's name. I don't know the actor's name.
I really liked his portrayal. I mean, granted, the comparison is Ben Affleck, so it is very difficult to make something worse.
Do you think it needed more seesaw fight scenes? The show?
No, not at all.
Did you not think it needed more? The guy's name is Charlie Cox, apparently.
Oh, okay.
The guy playing.
I really, really enjoyed him. And what I loved about this is having a character who's blind, but is aware of the stereotypes and the assumptions that people have, and then uses it to like control situations and conversation. One of my favorite moments is when, in the opening bit when he's talking to.
Karen.
Yeah, he's talking to Karen, and he asks her a question, and she nods, and he waits.
Even though he knows.
He totally knows that she nodded. She's like, "Did you nod?" And then she laughs, and it like puts her at ease. And like the fact that he uses that is so great.
Which is funny because in the comic books, more than anyone else, Daredevil's identity is the one that's constantly being revealed. Like he's constantly going to court, like having to prove that he's not Daredevil. And you would think he'd be the easiest one to be like, "No, he's blind. There's no way."
Mm-hmm.
I thought that'd be tiring. The whole time I watched the show, I said, "Man, that's got to be tiring pretending to be so blind when you could just kind of walk around without any problems."
Right. Well, the fact that he uses his stick so much in the
walking
for
around.
Other people, not for him.
Yeah, because he knows, but he's just to play along with the whole "I'm blind" bit. And I thought
I loved the pacing of the show is just fantastic, and the way like the level of power that he has, I think is so great because his hearing and his senses are so good that he can hear stuff from across Hell's Kitchen, which is really interesting. And then the way that he responds and all that stuff, it just works so well. The show's fantastic.
I think one of my favorite scenes is when he's fighting against a dude, or he's the torture dude, and he touches him, and he knows how many broken bones the guy has in his body. Like things, because when you say he has super hearing, you'd be like, "Oh, I know a bunch of people with super hearing. I know what that is." And he has super smell. Well, I know a bunch of people with enhanced senses, like they can smell like Wolverine or Sabretooth. Like, okay, I get that. But when you say a dude has super touch, and you just be like, what the heck does that mean? What does super touch mean? It's like you see him use it in a way that's not, like, there's a way that's realistic. Like he just connects and he can feel the ground and feel the person.
And he intimidates people with it.
Yeah,
I love that when he's like, "Hey, don't go for that gun that is in your. If you go for that gun behind in your back, I'm gonna break your arm." It's like, what?
And he just goes really hard, and it's very violent. Just FYI, don't watch it if you're not ready to watch a dude get his head cut off. Like, if you're not ready for that, then don't watch it. They don't show it, but like it's gonna happen.
The immediate aftermath.
And you're gonna hear it. They do definitely hear it, and it's not fast.
Who's your favorite character? What do you think?
Favorite character? Elektra. Elektra might be my favorite character. Oh, you mean in the TV show?
That we're talking
about, the TV show. Oh, gross. No, I didn't like anybody in that. No, okay. Realistically, I think it was Foggy Nelson. As weird as that might say.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think Foggy Nelson is my favorite character because he seemed so likable. Like, I just liked him. And it might have had something to do with the fact that he was a Bash brother in Mighty Ducks.
Oh, really?
He was Fulton. He was the guy with the slap shot that was so hard that it would break your hand.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so when I saw him, I was like, oh, gosh. That's so crazy.
I was trying to make out where I knew him from.
Yeah. So I
thought he just...
But outside of the Mighty Ducks, which is one of my favorite sports movie franchises ever, like, I thought he was my favorite character only because he seemed to just be so genuine the whole time. And very fun.
And he was smart.
Very smart. He wasn't a dumb guy.
He was funny, but he wasn't a moron. And he was good at his job.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Because, you have a funny sidekicks like, I'm constantly bumbling around. He was like pretty smart. He was a lawyer. Yeah. And he was going to be like at a high top, like they wanted him. But he had a sense of purpose, a sense that he was loyal to Matt and decided, that was great. So I think that Foggy Nelson's my favorite character. Yeah. My next favorite character would have to be Kingpin or Wilson Fisk.
Yep. Vince Vaughn. Incredible.
Vince Vaughn was so great. And then, obviously, him and Adam Sandler. All the other guys over there. But Vince Vaughn. Now you have me saying it, gosh. Anyway, Wilson Fisk was great.
Well, he really was.
He's scary.
It made him so much more fright. Because my only real... I'm not a big Marvel guy. My only real encounter with Kingpin was in the Spider-Man TV show or the games.
I think that's what everyone kind of remembers.
He just kind of is fancy and
he's
mad.
He's huge.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Well, first I was like waiting. I was like, oh my god, because he's a sumo wrestler in the comics.
Yeah,
like he's been trained in sumo. So I'm waiting for this big, wide-looking dude in a white suit and an ascot. And they joke about that.
Yeah,
like they joke about why people would dress that way. And then here he comes in the in this TV show, being like just a kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Because look, we'll put up a picture. We'll put up a picture of him.
Yeah.
But the Kingpin in every other besides Michael Clark Duncan, was it Michael Clark Duncan that was the Kingpin?
Yes.
Yeah, where he was still pretty fancy in like a white suit.
But he wasn't really.
But he wasn't massive.
It didn't look like someone took Humpty Dumpty from the Puss in Boots movie and put him on a guy with a suit.
Yeah. So like, I'm excited to see more of this kind of.
Yeah, he was really great.
But and he wasn't established yet, which I think is great because neither Daredevil nor Kingpin have been established. The parallels of their
characters were really
and they're
fantastic. Actually, my favorite character is Madame Gao.
Oh, she's very fun.
She was great, and the whole bit where she calls out that Vincent D'Onofrio's character, that Wilson Fisk is pretending not to know Japanese and Chinese just to throw people off. That scene was so great, and she's a really interesting character.
And she's gonna be in Iron Fist. She is gonna be in Iron Fist. They make mention of that as in the show. Sorry, I told you I wasn't gonna spoil stuff about Iron Fist, but she's definitely a part of Iron Fist's story.
Okay.
And which is very weird, which is very kind of mystical, and we'll kind of see where that goes. But yeah, so I liked her inclusion in this.
And her acting was just so
Her acting was really great.
It was really great. I loved that they presented a very diverse cast. And for the most part, with the exception of the Russians, I think it was fairly well portrayed. Even with them, actually, the Russians had a really... I remember the moment when, I think it was Vladimir, sees his dead brother's body, the decapitated body, and he cries. And now, granted, he starts the gang war and all this stuff, but... He isn't devoid of emotion in that moment, which I thought was really great.
So, and we don't really have a rating system for things we've watched because it's our first one. But my favorite rating system is the what would you rather do than watch this?
Oh,
whether it's good or bad. Okay. Like, what would you rather do than watch?
Sure.
So for Daredevil, Netflix television show Daredevil, what would you rather do than watch that movie? Or watch that show.
What do you think, Joe?
Joe, what would you rather do?
Well, I would rather have you guys tell me all about it than watch that show.
And we have.
Oh,
congratulations, your wishes come true,
mate.
Yes, that's what we do here on the Watchers Weekly. We make wishes come true.
Dreams come true.
Please send us your dreams,
first-hand experience,
and we will do whatever we can to make them come true. Or we just won't read it. We will though, but we might not.
Okay, so what would I rather do than watch Daredevil? I think I would rather go back in time and stop the first Daredevil movie.
Yes, I would rather do that. Like you'd be like, hey, actually, I'm gonna stop right now, and I'm gonna go back, or I would rather put more seesaw fights in the new Daredevil. I want more Elektra dance battles. I want more Elektra. I actually want a more Elektra movie. I don't want to make that a television show.
No.
Magical bracelets.
Never.
I don't know if you watched that movie.
Never again.
But it was great. And more tattoo. Never again. More tattoo. Anyway. So that's enough about Daredevil. Well, that was really good. We all loved it. So we're wrapping up, guys, for our first podcast ever.
Wow.
We did a good job.
We're doing it.
We talked about a lot of stuff.
We're doing it.
Next week, we're actually starting our big battle royale. What it is a superhero bracket where we have superheroes team up, fight against each other. We talk about who we think would win.
It's duos, right?
It's duos at first, then it goes to single competitions till the end, and then see who's the top reigning superhero ever in the history of the world, including people like Darkwing Duck and Mighty Mouse,
Howard the Duck, Hong Kong Phooey, legendary super guy, and then probably Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
but probably not. Probably none of those people, but you never know. So tune in next week. You'll see who made it onto the team. Mm-hmm. If you have an idea of like a superhero or a superhero team that you think would be really funny or interesting or dominant, send it in, and then you might find it. You might find it on the bracket. So before we haven't had any of the brackets.
Send us your picks.
Yeah, send us your picks. Send us your picks here at Watches Weekly. Hashtag Watches Weekly. We are watching. Hashtag We are watching. Send it to Twitter. We Watches Weekly. We haven't made it yet. Full disclosure. We should probably get on there. So it'll probably just be like we're lazy. Check us out.
Yep.
On Twitter. But anyway, so guys, so we were talking before the bracket's even made. We haven't made the bracket yet, but guys, if you could pick one superhero you think that's gonna just dominate, who do you think would be?
And we're going. It's full Marvel DC.
Full Marvel DC.
Yeah. Are
just heroes?
Are we doing any caps at all?
Just heroes.
Just heroes.
Just heroes.
Just
all right.
heroes.
Wow.
Okay.
And for the sake of conversation, like if you have an anti-hero that you think might be able to take it all, yeah, that works too.
Okay.
So we think just heroes.
Whew.
They'll take the whole thing.
And are we going standard canon version? Because like All-Star Superman.
All-Star Superman isn't really like canon.
God.
The new 52 will go with that. Like just regular. Like how they're portrayed right away. Like me personally, I'm a big fan. Now maybe I'm a big fan of Captain Marvel, and DC's Captain Marvel. Let me explain it. I'm a big fan of DC as Captain Marvel. And I feel like DC's Captain Marvel could take it all the way. And this is, he's one of my second favorite. He's my second favorite. The Flash is my favorite. He's my second favorite. The reason why I say DC's Captain Marvel only is because he's just strong as Superman. And it's been established that he's as strong as Superman. Maybe a little bit not, like maybe a little bit less. But like can hold his own against Superman in a fist fight. Mm-hmm. He can fly. He's invulnerable to like normal weapons as well as magic. Which Superman is not.
Up on Superman. Superman is
not. And even though he doesn't have laser vision or cold breath, he doesn't have cold breath.
Two very useless powers.
He does have the ability now to control the lightning. When he says Shazam, he's like, just aim it at people and strike them with magical lightning. Now it's just lightning, but it's magical lightning.
Which means Superman would take it.
Which is, I think, is pretty crazy. So if you take someone who's as strong as Superman, as fast as Superman, can fly, invulnerable, but also to magic, he's got the wisdom of Solomon. You know, he has the wisdom of Solomon, so he's not going to just make some dumb person. I think that he needs to be up there in the conversation. Except the only thing he's got against him is that he has the mind of like a 12-year-old. Mm-hmm. However, if you ever try to fight a 12-year-old, those guys are vicious.
Yeah, well,
12-year-olds are just little monsters.
No social.
There's no empathy yet.
Yeah, there's nothing there. No, I don't think they would like it if I did this. That's not a thing yet.
Yeah.
So
just like rip someone's arm off and beat him with it because he's mad. I don't know. I just think he'd be. I think you take him. What do you guys?
Joe, what do you think?
It's a tough call because. We're doing it in teams?
Well, no, just one. Just pick one guy to take. Take the whole thing.
And are we outlining the deity-esque ones like Doctor Strange?
That was going to be my selection.
Yeah, let's say Doctor Strange. Let's take Doctor Strange out of there, and let's take Dr. Manhattan out of there. Yeah, because they're just God.
Yeah, let's just
even Doctor Strange outside of the Sorcerer Supreme, he can summon a black hole, which takes out nearly everyone.
Yeah.
Including himself. Still.
Alright, here's who I give it to. Adam West Batman.
Adam West Batman. Yes, I agree.
The level of
I changed my answer.
The level of preparation to be bitten on the leg by a shark and say, Robin, go to the compartment in my helicopter and grab me the shark repellent.
Mm-hmm.
Implies winning everything.
Yeah, shark repellent. He's ready to go.
It's over.
He can run with a bomb. He can run with a bomb over his head across a pier.
He does,
Although I'm actually partial.
He can do the Pt.2, which is a dance.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which is a special dance.
Yeah, and Superman can't dance. Everyone knows that.
Superman can't dance. In fact, his powers is
Yellow
loose
Sun.
when
Not
he dances.
Not good for dancing.
Yeah. So Adam West Batman. Okay, that's the one.
Although I'm also partial to neck snapping Batman. The old point in comics. Because not everyone knows this, but Batman wasn't always a non-gun using, non-killing guy.
He used to kill everybody.
He used to kill a lot of people.
He
all
killed
the
his
time.
parents.
And it was very funny. It seemed as though
no, he didn't.
That didn't happen.
The writers for a season
no, he
were
did,
obsessed
though.
with neck snapping as a concept.
Yeah. Hold on. He did though. If you think about it,
He did what?
He killed his parents by pure negligence. This little kid wanted to go to a movie theater on the worst side of town. They were rich. They could have bought a movie theater and just put it in the mansion. But he demanded to go see this movie and then took them down an alleyway in a place called Crime Alley because he wanted to get home faster.
Yeah.
He didn't pull the trigger, but his stupidity did kill his parents, which is probably why he's so mad.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he told his mom to wear the pearls. That's in the comic. He told her to do that, which is the reason they got mugged in the first place. So, it is his fault.
Yeah.
Anyway, but back to the next step.
Anyway,
there's a really great. And you can Google this too. You can just see Batman neck snaps. Really quite hilarious. There's where it doesn't even have to be like a common neck snapping scenario. He can throw a batarang at a light switch. The light switch goes off. You trip, knock over a bottle. The bottle breaks, a la.
Gone Girl?
Yeah. So a bottle breaks, a la Gone Girl.
Yeah.
That woman then kills Neil Patrick Harris. Neil Patrick Harris falls over and her neck snaps.
Yeah.
That level of complexity happens.
So much neck snapping. Who do you think is better at neck snapping, Superman or Batman?
Oh my gosh.
Well, modern Batman, no.
Well, no,
so neck snapping Batman versus...
Yeah, neck snapping versus Superman. Versus neck snapping Superman.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I feel like neck snapping Superman
it depends
just
on,
did
on,
it with
if,
such
on,
ferocity.
on if we have wheelchair Zod in the newest Superman movie.
Oh, for those of you who don't know, I had made mention, because everyone was like, oh, Superman is killed and Batman hasn't. And I said, well, what if Zod's not dead? What if he's just, crippled from, the waist down, and we find out that he's just been kind of blinking in Morse code to Lex Luthor, and that's how he builds a power armor in order to fight Superman later.
It actually explains quite a few things.
It'd be really great, but then Superman allows people to think that he killed Zod so that they wouldn't mess with him. Because if they don't think, because that's the one thing that all superheroes have a problem in, The villains know they won't kill anyone. Which is, I think, the only thing that the Green Hornet has over every superhero. I don't know if you guys know who the Green Hornet is. Green Hornet was a television show. It was a comic and a television show where Bruce Lee became famous playing Kato. But Green Hornet's whole bit was that he would pretend to be a villain and then stop the villains in after while they are talking to him.
You're making me hate the movie
and
as I'm listening to your talk.
The villain, the Green Hornet movie was that was the only bit when he would go up to a villain and be like, oh yeah, I'm also a villain. Yeah, I'm gonna rob a bank. He would rob the banks, but give all the money back, but just make it look like he robbed it, and be a villain. And then the other villains would contact him hey, let's join our secret group. And they just beat him up. And then when they'd be what happened to so and so, the cops got him. He wouldn't tell anybody.
Oh, nice.
And I thought it was great. I was yeah, because then they wouldn't ever threaten innocence. Mm-hmm. They would never be oh, there's a lady we'll shoot this lady. He'd be good. I'll shoot her. And he'd hit her with a tranq dart and she'd go down. And everyone's oh, he's a monster. I think more heroes should do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, neck snapping Superman, neck snap Batman, go.
I gotta give it to Batman. Fortuitous circumstances, man.
I've never seen.
It doesn't matter. He would hit something crazy, and then suddenly Kryptonian atmosphere, and then neck snap.
It wouldn't be nearly as satisfying.
Because all it takes is a change in air pressure, apparently, to make Superman no longer Superman.
Here's my thing. I've never seen. I'm not super familiar with neck snapping Batman, but yes, you said that Superman did use quite ferocity when snapping that neck, but this is Superman we're talking about, snapping a neck. Zod's head should have separated from the
Zod's
head.
Super dense, just like Superman.
I don't care. I don't care.
You're right, though. You're right, though. You're truly right, though. He should just. I agree.
He should just rip his head off.
I changed everything I said. Just disintegrate it into a pile of really poorly written ash.
I just feel like Batman would have
Alright, this is degenerated into Superman versus Batman.
Yeah,
that's not even really my answer.
Yeah, so who was your answer? Adam West Batman beats everyone. And including neck snap Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Because he'd snap, and then he'd be like, Robin, get the neck snap repellent. Spray it.
He'd be wearing his anti-neck snapping cowl.
Yeah, you just look at him and just...
Actually, it's just his normal cowl because he can't even turn his neck. He would try to snap his neck and it would be physically impossible.
So you just punch him. In the throat. All right, Joe.
Okay, so I can't choose Doctor Strange.
No.
Therefore, I don't know. I guess I would either choose. Are we allowed? Is Silver Surfer allowed?
Yeah, why not?
I would either choose Silver Surfer, or I would choose the Phoenix.
Ooh, the Phoenix Force or Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force?
Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force.
Okay. Jean Grey's taking on like a lot of people. I'm pretty sure the X-Men took her down as a group, but there's no real group fight. But if she fight, yeah, that's pretty much. Those are two pretty like god level entities. Cause I'm pretty sure the Phoenix has destroyed planets.
Yeah.
Same with Silver Surfer.
She's like
he has a bunch of assists if he hasn't directly killed the planet.
Yeah,
right.
He's the Scottie Pippen of planet killing.
My favorite thing about
passing it up to Galactus, dunking the planets into his
whistling
mouth.
as they go.
Oh my
The best thing about Silver Surfer is that even though he's a cosmic entity, his downfall is the downfall of every normal surfer.
Yeah.
Oh no, my board's gone. I'm now helpless.
Yeah, as soon as his board leaves him, he just turns into a silver dude.
He's just Dr. Manhattan,
Silver
pre-Watchmen.
Just a silver guy. There should be more people who ride the surfboard, I think.
It's really moody.
So there you go. Alright, so I'm calling Captain Marvel, Adam West Batman, and then either Silver Surfer or the Phoenix. I think those are all good choices.
If I had to choose, I'd choose Silver Surfer out of both.
Silver Surfer, alright. Well, hey, you know what? If you have a guy or a lady that you think is a good idea, or you think would win, or you think is hilarious, or if you just think that, hey, I want to see Doop from Ecstatic. There's like 3 people who know who Doop is, and they're like, yes, that was my choice. If you want to see it, write in. Send us a link to some Doop moments or some Ms. Marvel moments or whatever you think would be really awesome, and then maybe put them in the Battle Royale, and we can see who comes up on top. But until then, we are Watchers Weekly. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next time, and always remember, we are watching.